Open Your Eyes is brought to you by the Belize Bank, our country, your bank, and Smart, bringing people together.
Welcome to Open Your Eyes.
Start your morning right.
I'm Marlene Cuellar.
And I'm Gavin Courtney.
And thank you for joining us this morning. Lovely Thursday morning.
Yep.
Warm already.
Yeah, I know. We're seeing some sunny skies already. Bright and early.
Yeah, it seems like such a sudden shift from all that rain right back to the heat. But we won't complain.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah, we'll take it as we get it. Of course, we do want to remind you, did you catch this week's KTV Latino?
Yes, I did.
And?
No, it was a great show, as always. I'm really excited to see where the show is going. I haven't chosen a favorite yet. It's still kind of early. But yeah, I thought the show was really good.
Yeah. I know, I was talking to some people about the challenge round. And it's interesting because some people are divided on it, you know, they think it's too hard.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know, they got to earn that top prize.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, and it's almost like it's a part of what you'd expect if you went outside and you wanted to do it professionally. So it's a great, like, pressure test, as they say.
And they gotta practice for it. I mean, if you are a ranchera singer and you gotta do some reggaeton, it's gonna take you a bit more time to get ready for stage. But if you put in the work, you'll be able to pull it off.
Yeah, for sure.
And definitely tougher judges this season too.
Oh yeah. But that's also good because it brings them, raises the standards.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, in case you missed KTV Latino, the repeat is tonight at 8:30, and you can also catch it on Sunday night at 7. So you have two opportunities to watch it again on your television, but if you want to watch it on your own timing, go ahead and go to KTV Latino's Facebook page, and the video is there for you to check out.
Yeah, you can catch up, support your favorites, but of course the most important thing always is to get those fingers moving and support via your text.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the season can speed by so quickly, too. And I think you got to vote for your favorites. That's the only way you'll see them move forward. So remember, voting continues right through till Sunday at midnight. All right, we're going to check in now with our weather. And we have Francisca on the line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm good, thanks. How about you?
Trying to stay cool. It feels like such a sudden shift from a whole lot of rain right back to the heat.
That's the topic.
That is the tropic. Thank you for the reminder, Francisca. All right, so what are we expecting today?
Okay, we'll see fair and warm conditions today. So we'll see lots of sunshine and partly cloudy skies tonight. And if we have any showers, they'll be isolated.
Okay. And any winds that will help us out?
Well, east to southeast, 10 to 20 knots, and producing moderate seas.
Okay. And what about our temperatures for today? How warm is it going to be?
Okay, along the coast, 89 Fahrenheit, inland 94, and the mountains 84. And then overnight temperatures, 83 along the coast, a bit warm, 75 inland, and 70 up in the mountains.
Okay. And the extended forecast?
Okay, that's for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll be seeing similar weather conditions.
All right, so we got sunny skies for the next couple days.
That's right.
All right, well, that's good news. Is there anything we need to be monitoring in the tropics?
Okay, currently we have that system over the southern Gulf of Mexico, and the latest bulletin has indicated that it has an 80% chance of becoming a tropical cyclone. Won't have much effect on us, except I think in the next 2 or 3 days it will support a broad area of low pressure over us, so our winds will become light again.
Okay.
So it's an indication of temperatures going up over us again.
Okay, okay. And that's the low pressure that we missed?
That's right. It's the
Okay.
same system.
All right, it's safer there than in front of us. All right, Francisca, thank you so much for that update.
You're welcome.
You have a great day today.
Thanks. Same to you.
All right. There you have it.
Yeah, gonna be a warm one today.
Very straightforward. A little bit of wind, warm temperatures, and it'll be sunny for the next couple days.
Yeah, and you know, we always remind everybody to, when the days are hot like this, stay hydrated, make sure you take care of yourself, wear sunblock, protect yourself against the sun.
Yeah. Wear repellent because the mosquitoes don't seem to care if it's rainy or sunny anymore.
Oh yeah.
Or if it's night or day.
No.
They're just vicious. All right, we got to get moving into our show for today.
Yeah. So first, we are going to be speaking with representatives from the Ministry of Agriculture, and they are going to be talking to us about World Food Day.
All right, and the second part of our show, it is Insurance Awareness Week. And we're going to have a number of representatives of the Belize Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors telling us all about the awareness activities they'll be having.
And finally, we'll be speaking with a representative from the U.S. Embassy who is going to speak to us all about the visa lottery program, the diversity visa lottery that is. So it's going to be a really interesting conversation.
Yeah, all right. So that's what we have lined up for today. We're going to go ahead and take our first break, and when we come back, we'll get right into it. So stay tuned.
is World Food Day. We are the farmers of the future. Sustainable agriculture. Food safety is everybody business. So come on, can you need to hear this? Plant the corn and reap it. Food in abundance, keep it. If you harvest your water, climate smart agriculture, you know that we deal with. You see the animals, take care of them. Bull in a pasture, sheep in a pen, chicken in a coop so you go harvest an egg. Eliminate world hunger. Everybody eat a little food at the end of the day. Belly for you full and pot for you scrape. If you use chemical, dispose of it the proper way. Nobody for you pollute with water way. Come on, food safety is everybody business. My business, your business, film business, PR business. World Food Day, everybody business. Food safety is everybody business. Come on out to Ladyville Technical High School on October 18, 2019 and let us celebrate World Food Day. Opening ceremonies begin at 9 a.m. sharp. Come and enjoy the presentations and take a tour of our pristine campus. We invite you to take a look at our aquaponics system, our rice plot, our crops, our livestock. Come on out, bring out the entire family. Let's make it a day. World Food Day 2019 at Ladyville Technical High School. Your business, film business, PR business. World Food Day, everybody business.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. And if you're joining us now, we're talking all about World Food Day. Joining us is Mr. Emilio Montero, who is the Food and Nutrition Security Commission Coordinator from the Ministry of Agriculture. And also joining us is Ms. Diane Westby, who is the principal of Ladyville Technical High School, and Mr. Hubert Pascual, who is the agriculture teacher from Ladyville Technical High School. Good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
So we're talking about World Food Day, and this year's theme is Our Actions Are Our Future, Healthy Diets for a Zero Hunger World. We hear terms like, zero hunger, and even in the jingle we heard just now, food safety, which may seem self-explanatory, but a lot of people don't really know what they mean. So what are we talking about when we use the terms like a zero hunger world?
Good question. Good morning. Every year, World Food Day is celebrated under different themes. And this year, well, as you're saying, our actions are our future, healthy diets for a zero hunger world. Those are themes that are selected by the FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. So they look at the global challenges and issues that we're facing, that the human populations are facing. So this year, for example, diets is a challenge. Even here in our country, we talk about NCDs, non-communicable diseases, obesity, overweight, underweight, malnutrition, undernutrition, and the terms keep going on and on and on. So the way FAO is looks at it with other stakeholders is hunger. Yeah, in a way we can say, oh, we want to prevent people from starving or not being hungry. But on the other side, when we talk about food and feeding people, we might think, okay, cheeseburger, fried chicken, rice and beans, without actually looking at the nourishment, the minerals, the vitamins that the body actually needs. So we can reduce hunger, for example, by just eating a bowl of fruits with perhaps a garnacha, and we have a balanced diet right there. And then your body has enough calories for the day. But in many cases and situations here in Belize, for example, I need a whole big plate of rice and beans, my belly needs to be full, and then I won't be hungry again. But we tend to forget actually the key ingredients, minerals, vitamins, and the calories that the body needs to run us for the day. And that's where we are. Like, for example, primary school children, they might want $5 tacos, whereas $1 is sufficient enough to feed their needs. Where an adult like us, for example, we might need a $5 tacos. So in that respect, we're looking at the amount of calories which is enough to run us for the day.
Yeah, yeah. And clearly, the link between agriculture and healthy food is a natural one because we're talking about growing the food that we eat. I wanna jump off with one of the main things that we hear from people when you talk about eating healthy, and that's that it's expensive. If you wanna get a salad or ingredients for a salad, it costs so much. Rice is cheaper. Can you address that, especially looking at the infrastructure we have for agriculture?
Right. That's one of the pillars within agriculture where affordability is one of those issues.
Yeah.
Affordability and accessibility, and that's one of the strategies we are using right now within our ministry is, along with primary schools, promoting school gardens, because we can grow our own food. We can grow our own food, and by learning how to grow your own healthy food, it will bring down cost. That's not maybe. So I was reflecting on that. Good question, because yesterday we were invited at BHSA where we celebrated World Food Day 2 years ago. So we keep rotating venues, especially in high schools that have agriculture programs.
Where's BHSA?
BHSA in San Lazaro, Orange Walk.
Okay.
And that was one of the
That's a high school of agriculture.
right.
Okay.
And that was one of the questions asked. And just Tuesday, we had a youth forum related to the team over at Ladyville Tech as well. And we asked the students, why do you think we're not eating healthy? And that was one of the points brought by the students themselves. Imagine third farmers, fourth farmers saying, it's unaffordable, it's too expensive. Yes, but when you look at it, with $1 you can buy $1 banana, which is healthy. You can buy now in markets, in plastic bags, they sell you a fruit salad with bananas, watermelon, papaya, melon for $1. So this is where I think we need to start to get in within Belize, changing our choices into a more direct, healthy needs. And it's about changing a culture though.
Yeah.
So it won't happen overnight. That's important to realize. But if we start with kindergartens and primary schools and teachers focusing and gearing towards helping students to focus on healthy choices and avoid. I remember coming to school in Belize City. I did 4 years at Technical, 2 years at Technical and 2 years at UCB at the time. And we would walk to school and we would ride bicycles to school. And we didn't complain. So sedentary lifestyles is also affecting our society. So yes, you can say, we might say, it's unaffordable, but then it's at the same time we can make it affordable.
Yeah.
And you know how much we are focusing in Belize City with stakeholders like Social Security Board, the police department, when O.C. Gillett was in the city, our own ministry, Taiwanese funds, so many school gardens and so many investments we have done in primary schools across the city. That's a start.
Yeah.
And within our ministry, we can only do so much.
Yeah.
Everyone needs to do their own little part as well. And in so doing, gradually we start to change our healthy habits.
And one of the ways you're doing so is by working with schools, as you clearly said. You do school gardens. Is that in all districts? Is it primarily in Belize City?
Now that we are much more fully collaborating with Ministry of Education, we have now expanded countrywide with school gardens. And this is something ongoing. We started with 13 this year. They're getting some fundings to do 14 more. And through FAO projects and other funding coming in, we are expanding fully across the country with school gardens. But what's key also to mention, and we're seeing it, just as how we have success stories with school gardens, it's about the leadership of the schools. Principals will want it. We can give you all the school gardens and all the seedlings that you want, but if there won't be nobody to take care of it and look after it, it won't work. And we, sadly to say, but we have stories like that where we give everything and then 1 month after, like nothing is happening.
And well, I suppose then it's a good time to jump over to the work that's been being done at Ladyville Technical High School, because it seems that you've invested a lot of resources into developing the agricultural program there. So maybe we can start with talking about how the program became so developed and why you felt it was important that the school should have such a program.
Well, good morning. Thank you for having us. First, Ladyville Technical has a population of 497 students, and agriculture is one of the areas that we offer as specialization. And so it started out small. With some years only 5 students would sign up to specialize in that area. One of the things we discussed was that we wanted to offer the students other options other than what are available at other institutions. And so because we're a technical school, we also do construction, electrical, and so agriculture is one of those programs too. Over the years, we have invested by adding more livestock, crops to the program, and the students' interest also grew because it's a practical, you get to be outside in the field and doing all these stuff. We have pigs, rabbits, chickens, so they take care of them. They have learned how to give the animals their vaccinations and stuff like that. So because of that, then more students started to sign up to specialize in agriculture. So when it was only a small amount of students, they were combined with another class. So we would have like 4 agriculture horses for the hospitality group. And then when it's time to specialize, you move off into your particular area. Now the agriculture students are on their own because you would have a maximum of 33 students in the agriculture class. What we also did too was, from the students are in second form, you're given the opportunity to be exposed to all the technical areas that we offer. So at the end of your second year, you are given the opportunity, you fill out your forms, choosing what we refer to it as choice of stream. Where do you want to branch off? And so if you sign up for agriculture, then you spend your last 2 years specializing in agriculture. You do your math, English, and stuff just like everybody else, but you get at least 9 hours per week out in the field taking care of this.
How have the students responded to, because Ladyville is a part of the suburbs. Your students are not just from Ladyville, they're from some other villages around and even from the city.
Yes.
So, you know, they're not growing up around farms. How have they responded to learning the practical skills and also the theory of agriculture?
Well, I can let Mr. Pasquale speak about that because actually Mr. Pasquale is head of the agribusiness department. I need to mention that my agriculture teacher is a female. Nice. And for the last 12 years, she has had 100% pass in the CXC exams. Wow. Everybody that takes agriculture passes that exam 12 years consecutively, no interruptions.
You should be proud of that.
We are.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Though Ladyville is, as you mentioned, part of the suburbs, well, most of our students come from rural communities. They come from Mascal, they come from Bomba, Fresh Pond.
Okay.
So these kids grow around farms.
Okay.
They come from areas that have huge plots of land. So it's nothing new to them. We have a couple of the students from the city, of course. And as they say, train up a child where he should grow, he or she should grow, and in the end, they will not depart from it. So we see these kids, their choice of stream in agriculture, they select it, and they work. They enjoy being out there, the practical aspect. Whenever they go out, I am not at school right now, but those guys are right there in the aquaponics area. They're right there in the field. They're doing their weeding, they're planting, you know. So they love it. They enjoy doing agriculture.
Yeah. And you know, since you mentioned, you know, aquaponics and stuff, what are the types of activities that students will do when they're involved in? Because I saw, we saw in the visuals, in the video, sorry, that that, you know, it's not only planting, there's also livestock as well that's going on. So what type of things?
All right. Apart from crops, we have the aquaculture section. We have 2 tilapia ponds, and we also have an aquaponics area. We did not choose hydroponics because of the fact that we need to purchase fertilizer and add nitrates and salt. So the aquaponics system is basically aquaculture combined with fish working, right? Using the effluent from the fish. You know, whenever fish defecate, they produce ammonia. So that is the fertilizer that we use to fertilize the crops. Everything is grown solely in water. And, these 2 lettuce that I have here, sorry for that. I took these out this morning from the aquaponic system. As you can see, no soil, it's only water. So
That's my favorite one to buy. Less work.
yeah, you know. So we produce all the grow beds at waist height, so students do not need to be out there breaking their backs, weeding and so on and so forth.
So you were saying you don't do hydroponics, but you're talking a language we don't all know. So what's the difference between the hydroponics and the aquaponics?
The aquaponics is the growing of crop using fish and water. It's a symbiotic relationship.
Liquid nutrient.
Right.
Nutrient.
So it's actually a symbiotic relationship. As a matter of fact, it's an ecosystem.
Okay.
Where you have fishes in tanks. They produce waste material. It flows into a filter, a filtration tank. That's where we have the bacteria. The bacteria breaks down the ammonia into nitrates, passes it over onto the plants, and then we have another filter that cleans out the water. Whenever the plants use the nitrates, cleans out the water, and it sends it back to the fish tank. The hydroponics, however.
So that's aquaponics,
that's
what you just explained.
Right.
The fish help to provide the nutrient for the plant.
For the plants,
okay.
right. And then we have the hydroponics where you have solely water and you would add fertilizers to it.
Okay.
And that would cycle as well.
Yeah.
However, one of the key factors about the aquaponics is you don't ever have to change the water. Right? While hydroponics,
nature takes care of
right,
itself.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the water is oxygenated whenever it cycles through the system. The hydroponics, however, you need to change the water, and where does that water go? It ends up in the environment. So whenever it ends up into the environment, then we have it can lead to eutrophication if you have a pond nearby. As a matter of fact, the water that we get comes from the river. So we take our pump to the river, fill our tank, take it back to school, pump it into a tank, and so on. So we have actual fresh water. You know, well, the hydroponics, you can use the water from the vat.
Yeah.
You can use tap water, add your fertilizers to it, cycle it through. At the end of the cycle, you need to release that water somewhere.
So aquaponics is the more sustainable option? Is that what I'm hearing?
More sustainable and more environmentally friendly.
Okay.
And tying into what Hubert is saying also, Marlene, is affordability, accessibility. Urban gardening, the system they're using. In cities, for example, no land, no soil. So that would be an excellent option that can be used, or actually is being used in urban areas around the world to grow their own food.
How much space does it take?
I mean, you can just use the roof of a house and fully equip it, and you should have enough for yourself.
It's not expensive, you know. It's not expensive. Ours is big, but it's not expensive. You can do it. As a matter of fact, you can have a small, a small aquaponic system in your house if you want, if you so desire. All you might need is an aquarium pump. As long as you have the water circulating, that's all you need. In some places in the world, instead of we use tilapia. In some of those more developed countries, they use goldfish. It's only the effluent
I
that you
think
need.
in Taiwan now, in their rice paddies, they are now growing tilapia in there. So there you
Okay.
have that symbiotic relationship
Yeah.
of working together. Of the plant provides oxygen to the fish, and the fish is providing the nutrients to the plant. So this is where we get into also continuing with the discussion of climate smart agriculture.
Yeah.
Where with all these climate change scenarios and weather patterns changing and droughts, floodings, here you have a control system
Right.
that you can use and still grow your own food,
Yeah.
healthy food.
And this aquaponics structure, is that unique to a few schools in Belize, or is it more widespread than?
Actually, we've rotated World Food Day throughout the country, and extremely surprised that I think the only school that has
You're the
an
only school that
aquaponics
has
system,
it? Don't-
and
don't be
much
humble,
more.
tell us.
They are government school.
Yeah.
And government
Yeah.
organizations, as you all know, have limited resources, and for them to have put this structure in place and have the system in place, kudos to them.
So what do you find your students do after they've completed a specialization in agriculture? What do they end up doing?
What we have observed over the last few years, some of them have gone on to Central Farm. I believe in the North Escuela, Mexico also have a program. So I know 2 of our students who, upon graduating from us, they moved to the North to enroll in that program. We have been encouraging more of them to seek out where opportunities exist, even if it's abroad. Last year, one of our Fort Farm students had applied for a Taiwanese scholarship to go do agriculture, but because of some technical difficulties, but actually what was said to him was to reapply this year. So we're encouraging him to resubmit his application. So
they see it as a foundation and they're moving forward specifically in this field. That's great news.
Right.
Yeah. No,
And it started to change the stigma also with this new technology, because here we're talking technologies.
Yeah.
The stigma of agriculture is hard work. You need 50 to 100 acres to plant all this corn and all this rice, or in 1 acre. Or I mean, we did this demonstration rice plot, for example, just 10 by 10 we did. That's a 10 by 10.
yeah, that's
Where-
rice.
Right.
That's what
rice,
you have here, and that's
yes.
what's in that
And
video.
Here
Okay.
it's about to it's called the flowering rice panicle, where perhaps in the next few weeks, then the rice will be there. But point I'm trying to make is, I told the principal and Hubert, you know what, something new, an addition, as how you're saying the Ladyville is in a urban setting. Many of us don't know how rice is grown, and many of his students would say, what is that? And it's rice. They were, oh wow, it's rice. But I explained to them, we can do this plot in Central Farm, our horticulture unit. They have a 100 by 100, and in that 100 by 100 area, they managed to harvest between 150 to 200 pounds of rice in just that 100 by 100. So I suggested to them, let's do this plot, embark on it, see what it's like to grow rice. Then the next step is for our ministry, continued support and collaboration with them. We can do the 100 by 100, and they will be able to harvest their own 150 to 200 pounds of rice to feed their cafeteria
Yeah.
and make it sustainable.
Yeah.
And since the ministry has been assisting schools with education, these sustainable practices over the years, do you find that these practices are that it's reflected in the overall agricultural sector, that for instance, that the industries are starting to put into place more sustainable, more eco-friendly ways of farming in general?
Well, with now that we are seeing all these different climatic scenarios, I mean, just now, the extended drought,
Yeah.
there will be, that will be the only way to go, to embark into other new technologies, because government alone, our ministry alone cannot do it all. And so everyone will have to start, or will need to start, to embark on new ways of doing agriculture.
And what do you do with the produce?
We usually sell them. Let me take a step back, because as mentioned, we have a poultry section, we have rabbits, we have sheep, we have pigs, we have fish, we have crops. We're one of the #1 hubs for providing eggs to the Ladyville community. As a matter of fact, people all the way from Orange Walk come up to purchase eggs from our school. So
what's so special about your eggs?
They're fresh.
Okay.
And not only that, they're organic. And so, Marlene, if you would like to purchase a crate, you need to go on a waiting list, because we have a long
wait.
Yeah, we have a
Yes, there's
we have a long
actually,
list.
it's interesting, we joke about it, but my secretary and the clerk typist in the business office, they have a calendar, and there's a list of people on it for eggs. So we have also expanded the poultry section, because the demand for the eggs, because they're fresh, is very high. So like, maybe if you would call my school right now and ask, can I get a crate of egg or a dozen egg, they will quickly scan their calendar and say, sorry, Miss Marlene, we don't have, but can I put you down for Monday? And then we're sure. So we have, Mr. Pasquale asked that we increase the number of layers. So we have done that, so we can provide more to the community, because we supply one of the bakeries in Ladyville with eggs, and as he said, we have 2 customers that comes all the way from Orange Walk.
Well, that's pretty interesting, because the part of the program that you teach, do you also speak a little bit about the business side of farming as well, and how to support yourself, or part of contribute?
Right. As a part of the agribusiness department, we must teach economics, and how students can go about not only economics but also processing, food processing. So you need to take these crops and complete a finished product. You can't sell pepper all your life and then dollar bag. Makes sense. So we teach them how to manufacture pepper, a couple jams, and so they're well rounded. They have the skills, so they can take the raw material and create a finished product as well. If they want to just sell peppers, then they can. But however, they have the opportunity to create a finished product and put it on the market. So we were teaching them to actually develop, to be industrious.
What also too, because we have the poultry section, the students also slaughter chickens. We have a slaughtering area, and so at least twice per semester, because remember, they still need to be in the classrooms, they come outside for half of the day, and they slaughter between 50 to 75 chickens for the day. And then again, we have a market for that. We have our set customers that know if we have chickens, sheep, mutton, or pork, they will come to buy. But for the chickens, usually what the students would do too, in terms of tying it to business, they would then season and do barbecue, and then the student population buys, and it becomes income for the school, which of course goes back into the agriculture section.
And that's the beauty about being innovative. We need to be innovative. So they have their own ideas. We select schools with agriculture programs. We come and strengthen what they have. So we can talk agriculture and then say, but we need water. So when we started visiting, perhaps they weren't aware of it, but right across the fence I saw a huge pond. And I said, Mrs. Westby, I think you have an excellent source of water. And then she started explaining to us that it's from the
BDF
right across. Now we know the fund is 18 feet deep. It's a freshwater pond. It never goes dry. We made an irrigation system. We have connected some pipes.
Yeah.
So they should be okay for the next 50 years.
Actually, we asked the
So
Knock on wood there, right? Yeah.
the commandant of the Belize Defense Force was very instrumental in that.
Yeah.
When I communicated with him, he agreed right away that we could go ahead, and so we attempted our irrigation system before because our campus is the old military base. We already had reservoirs that holds water, but again, because of this drought, it went dry. We had a pumping station and all of that we added to it. But now with that additional source of water and having a water tower erected,
Yeah.
because
water
of the
harvesting is
Yeah.
something new also that farmers
Yeah.
will need to do.
Yeah, that's
as well.
trying to be resilient to
Right.
climate change.
Right. Right.
I mean, I'm really fascinated by what you're sharing that you're doing at Ladyville Tech, and I guess that's why it's a great opportunity for people to go out on Friday and see the school and also learn more about the Ministry of Agriculture and what you're doing. But I'm wondering a step further. You are a technical school. Central Farm is considered a technical school as well. High School of Agriculture in Orange Walk is also technical. But is it time for us to move past separating these types of life skills, learning at least or understanding the basics of agriculture into the regular quote-unquote mainstream system?
well,
Especially if we're going to be looking forward to the future.
If I could comment on that just briefly, I know the Ministry of Education in the national curriculum that they're working on is ensuring that the technical subjects are incorporated in schools' curriculum. Because while you have schools like ours that are referred to as technical schools, we try to strike a balance. So in every program that is offered at our institution, there's a science in it, because a lot of times people believe, oh, if you're doing technical, there's no science. I often tell my parents, the students who do building construction at our school must do physics. You cannot be an engineer and build a bridge if you don't know physics. So they're required to take physics. The electrical students must also do physics. The agriculture students do biology and chemistry. So in our curriculum, we have ensured that we have incorporated the sciences in there, because we have to face the reality that in our country and in the region, we live in an exam-driven era. And if you don't sit these exams to say you have 6 or 19 CXCs, then it's like you have nothing. So we try to ensure that within our curriculum, you are covering the subjects, the math, the English, the science, the social studies, but we also give you additional. So while we're talking about agriculture, if I may, our electrical students, for example, quite a few of them on their last day of completing their OJT experience normally would get employed by the businesses that allows them to do their practice there. The building construction students too are very instrumental in what has been built on our campus. So they get a lot of practical experience too. And similarly, the building construction teacher has a track record of 12 years of 100% passing CXC. Everybody passes the CXC exam. 2 years ago, we introduced, the teacher brought to my desk, can we teach computer-aided drawing? He started out with doing it at a laptop with his students just huddled around him, to us investing in a lab. And so again, too, I was told that I'm supposed to ensure that I mention these things since I like to keep quiet about it. We, from my understanding, we are the only school doing computer-aided drawing in the country. And we have done it 2 years. This year, June, was our second sitting. Our first sitting, 100%, all of our students passed. And for this year, when the results came out in end of August, early September. Again, all the students passed that.
So lots of good things happening.
So there you see it, Marlene, where the focus of agriculture for us is the aging farmers. So we need to start to engage more
Yeah.
the younger generation into farming. And for us, it's now a challenge where, like 5 years ago, we would, where can we celebrate World Food Day? And we would be thinking where and where.
Yeah.
Now we have a list. This year we had a list of 8 high schools that wanted to host World Food Day. So we had to screen and set a criteria. And there you see why Ladyville Technical was selected to be
Yeah.
this year's host. They have so much things going on,
Yeah.
and they're doing a lot of things on their own. Our ministry just comes in, strengthens on what they have, and we keep the collaboration going.
So what can we expect on Friday at the celebration of World Food Day, which will be at Ladyville Tech?
There's an official ceremony that commences at 9.
Okay.
The Minister, Honorable Godwin Hulse, is our keynote speaker.
Yeah.
And we have other people from the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Education should have a team there. My understanding is that our Minister and Deputy Prime Minister is going to be our guests too. And after the ceremony is over, there is a tour of on the campus of all the exhibits from the different organizations that are setting up. And of course, the main focus, a large section of it, is what we have to offer along with what Ministry of Agriculture has added to our program over the last month or so. So
To add to what Mrs. Westby is saying, new to this year is, one, we always look at culture food. So displays of culture foods. 2, we always look for a local celebrity. So Julian Cho, Mr. Mahong, or last year was Patrick Jones. So we look for celebrities from the district. So this year is one of your colleagues, William Neal, will be our MC.
Also still lives in Ladyville, yeah?
Yep. So he will be there with us, and also tying into the theme with our actions, our future healthy diets for a zero hunger world, is in order for changes to start to happen, we also need policies in place.
Yeah.
At least start with the basic policies. One of those basic policies embarked by Ministry of Health and Education is the banning of sugary drinks in schools. Excess sugar, as we all know, is related to diabetes, for example. But that needs not just saying per se.
Yeah.
It also needs that political will.
Absolutely.
So this year, and for the past few months, we have been planning around that, is the newly formed, and it was in the news as you saw it, the newly formed, the Belize chapter of Parliamentarians Against Hunger and Malnutrition,
Yeah.
being spearheaded by the Speaker of the House, Mrs. Laura. So there is this Belize chapter now. We have parliamentarians, both from the opposition, senators, ministers of government, as part of the alliance championing this cause. So now all of a sudden we needed a logo to showcase the alliance. So for the past month we have been planning agriculture, health, education, the committee that supports her. There will be the unveiling of the logo.
Oh, nice.
So the first prize being given by the Ministry of Education, and they took care of sending the invitations to schools countrywide, is $1,000. So 40 entries were submitted, or close to 40, and we have a winner.
And we find that out on Friday.
Right, and the unveiling will be done by the Speaker of the House,
Nice.
along with the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Education. They will unveil the logo, announce the winner, and the winner will be there to receive his or her prize.
Quite a
So
lot
that is new.
happening on Friday. I have one more question. Are you going to have a farmer's market and will you have eggs available?
When I return back to school, I'm going to tell the ladies, and I know they're watching. Please ensure that they have at least a
can't
tray
brag
of
about these literal hot eggs that you have. And everybody will come on Friday and want some as well.
I'm sure that there are going to be small
Yeah.
amounts of, I know Ministry of Agriculture is bringing some
Yeah.
plants to give away to people who may come to visit. In our case, we do cycles, like I explained with
Yeah.
the chickens. So now school have opened in August, and so we're right at the cycle where slaughtering would start, and we brought samples of these, but in the next couple of weeks there will be a point where we could start harvesting, and then we package and sell. So we'll remember you when we start.
Or just tell me when the farmer's market and I'll come. But thank you for coming in and telling us about the great work that you're doing at Ladyville Technical High School, and of course Ministry of Agriculture for explaining what's happening for World Food Day and what we're working towards. The activity is open tomorrow, right?
Yeah, it's open. Everybody is welcome.
Anyone who wants to stop in, right?
Yep, there is no
Starts
cost.
at 9.
It starts at 9. That's one of the highlights. The official ceremony 9 to 10, and then the display of everything that will be there.
All right. Thank you for coming in and best of luck.
Thank you for
Thank you.
inviting us.
Thank you for having
We're going to
us.
go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll be talking about insurance. So stay tuned.
Welcome back to Open Your Eyes. Now, if you're joining us now, we're talking all about Insurance Awareness Week. And joining us to speak about this is Chantal Lofter-Knight, who is the president of the Belize Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors, and also Carol Panton-Rose, who is the vice president of the association, and also Elia Cho, who is the PR officer of the Belize Kidney Association of Belize. Good morning, ladies, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And thank you.
Now, Insurance Awareness Week. What's it all about?
Okay.
Start there.
Let's kick that off, right?
Yeah.
So, thank you for having us, first of all. Insurance Awareness Week is a week where we, as insurance advisors, promote the importance of being insured, right? We have several activities that we do throughout the week.
Yeah.
We start off the week by attending a special church service so that we can get special blessings on our activities that we have for the week. We do a food drive during Insurance Awareness Week.
Yeah.
We also have a health fair, and that's why Miss Elia is here to talk about Kidney
Yeah.
Association. The Belize Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors consists of different insurance companies within Belize.
Yeah.
The members of our association are RFG Insurance, Sagicor Insurance, Diversified Life Solutions, Simpson Insurance, and am I forgetting anybody? Atlantic Insurance. These are companies that offer, our focus is life and health insurance, and so that's basically what our association does. Our association has been established since 1994. In talking and promoting insurance, we have also adopted the Kidney Association of Belize as one of our causes, and we have been supporting kidney for over 10 years. So as advisors, the association is there to ensure that we standardize the way people do business so that we enhance the customer experience, right? It should always be about the customer in whatever service business there is. The customer should always come first. So the association is there to make sure that the experience is always the best that it could be. It's not just about pushing an insurance product, as salespeople may always appear to come over, right? It's about the client and meeting needs. So as we do the activities for the week, we try to interact with people as well, and we never miss the opportunity to educate people on insurance. And so
It's a great opportunity to educate, and I'm sure you know more than anyone else that there are two very distinct school of thoughts when it comes to insurance. It's either people who feel that you must get it, as much coverage as you can, or people who believe it is just not worth it. And I want to start there. Just how you've been seeing the growth of people, or if there is a growth of people purchasing insurance products, and what type of products are they getting?
you want to come in, Chantal?
Well, throughout the years, health has been the number one priority.
Yeah.
And whenever we're presenting, the focus is always about health insurance coverage. You know, the need is always there. They'd prefer see the need and get the value, the health, you actually have access, you have use of it, right? As opposed to having a life, it's a more standardized sell, whereby, again, it's the need. It's always based on the need, right?
Yeah.
Consumers are becoming more aware, right? But there is still the stigma about insurance.
Yeah.
Some people, a lot of people will tell you, no, it's just a ripoff. It's a waste of time. We always encourage people to look at the negative. There are so many, at the positive, sorry. There are so many positive things about insurance. People have good stories, but as a people, we always tend to focus on the negative, right? So the consumer awareness is growing. People are becoming more educated, but it is still basically trying to explain to people. I think the level of education is still not there. Insurance is not a big thing in Belize as it is perhaps in the Caribbean and other parts of the world. So people are not sensitized to it enough. That is why as advisors it's important that we have that one-on-one with people, form relationships and try to show people how it's there to help, right? as opposed to having it just be another expense
Yeah.
on your list of expenses.
What do you find to be the first barriers if you're going out to someone? Let's talk health first, right? So if you're going out to somebody who doesn't have insurance, in the U.S., for example, they're always talking about insurance. You have to
Yes.
have it.
Yes.
In fact, you won't be treated at a hospital unless you have health insurance.
Right.
We are not under that type of mandate here, so it really is optional. So when you go to somebody and you say, okay, do you want to be insured or have health coverage? Well, what are some of the first concerns that they have, and how do you allay those concerns?
People are always concerned that the insurance, whether or not the insurance will be there for them when they need it the most.
Yeah.
Right? It's important that people know what they're getting into. It's a two-way street. When we as advisors sit down with people, we have to be open, transparent, and we encourage our clients to it's a relationship.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, we have to work with people to see what their needs are, so it's a needs focused thing.
Yeah.
And that is how, that is how we handle that.
Yeah.
We also get them to fit it in their budget, right?
Very important.
Why is it important? I mean, if somebody doesn't have insurance, the thing with insurance is you don't know you need it till you need it.
It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it, right? So people look for insurance when it's too late.
Yeah.
Especially health insurance. Normally people are not calling you for insurance. If somebody picks up the phone and calls me and says, you know what, I'm looking for a health insurance, it could be that it's just because they want to secure their family. Because when you talk about insurance, it's financial security really, because we're talking about disasters like life and death and health. And when those things hit, it affects the standard of living for your family.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. And the importance, we always say that insurance is a language of love, right? It's about those you care about, your ability to being able to provide for them. When we talk about the whole life insurance, I think people would prefer just not to deal with that. They take the ostrich mentality, right? Head in the sand mentality. But again, it's an education process.
Yeah.
It's assuring people you have to know what you're getting into, being open and honest and genuine in dealing with people. Making sure that they know what they're covered for, what they're not covered for. And as consumers, sometimes you find that people are just going to a contract and they just sign. We've all done it at some point or the other, right? And so people have to be aware of what they're undertaking so that there won't be any surprises.
Yeah.
So.
And, we keep talking about, the importance of having health insurance. And I would imagine that people who have, for example, ongoing conditions are the people who may need it most because they have to access treatment at hospitals, clinics, on a regular basis. So how does an organization like the Belize Kidney Association, encourage people or educate people about what options they have for insurance and, what they can do, so that they could, stay secured or insured?
Well, Belifa have adopted the Kidney Association not in the education, the importance of insurance, but they have adopted us, and we gain the proceeds that they fundraise at their events, and that proceeds is what we put towards in subsidizing patients with hemodialysis, peritoneal dialysis, and to give educational awareness to the public. That is how we tie in with Belifa.
Yeah. I mean, and I think this relationship has become one because clearly if someone has kidney failure and they have to go on dialysis, it is a massive expense.
It is, and then hence the reason we partner in having the health fair, and we will have the health fair this coming Friday, October 25th, at the Lions parking lot, and we will have different tests. We have educational booth, and there will be they will all be they will have their team out there, and they will emphasize on the importance of why insurance is important, because you have additional booths that will provide health information, and these are the different diseases that affects the patient and the family, not just financially but emotionally and psychologically.
You know, just to elaborate a little bit on that, it's all about prevention as well. Because when we talk to people, just in terms of trying to set them up and assisting them with their budget to get an insurance product, we have to talk about the prevention, and that is one of the biggest things. Kidney is big on awareness when it comes to prevention. So it's not only about your financial security, it's about your health. And you know, we don't manage our finances, we don't manage our health, it's all tied together. Unfortunately, after you are sick, you don't qualify for medical insurance. So this is why it's important for people to be proactive, other than being reactive, as is the culture.
Yeah. And, you know, I always find too that sometimes, because most health insurance plans have their checkup included, right? Some of the preventative care. And people don't always access it. I think that's one of the things that we still shy away from. Is that part of what people don't understand?
Not necessarily. I believe that people, for females, we will go.
Yeah.
Males will tend to be more delayed. I'll do it next year.
Yeah.
Right? Us as agents would advise our clients to, you know, go take advantage of it. Do your annual physical, especially for groups. They would, the different institutions, health institutions would provide packages at the beginning of the year and promote it to different companies, big companies. That way everybody can benefit from it now at a lower cost.
Or the common things that we see in Belize, we know diabetes, hypertension, and also cancer is one of the things we're seeing very often. In fact, I believe it's Atlantic Insurance who recently came out with a special cancer policy as well. So it shows that locally the dynamic shifts in terms of where or greater needs are.
We have always promoted our critical illness, which is a package of about 23 major illnesses like heart attack, kidney failure, stroke. You know, as long as you have that critical illness coverage, you're covered upon diagnosis of that illness.
So we're different insurance companies, remember, that that make up the association, and however, everybody has that entity of critical illness. So it's definitely something on the top of people's list. When you talk about sickness, like you said, the first thing that comes to mind is cancer. Young people are suffering diabetes, heart attack, things like that, right? So all of our companies do promote critical illness, and it's a coverage that's affordable. A lot of people shy away from insurance because they think they just won't be able to afford it. But we encourage people to look into your options, you know, explore your opportunities.
And doing a proper needs analysis, all of those different benefits will be addressed. When you sit with the customer, with the client, doing the proper needs analysis, you touch on all those different benefits, right?
And do you find that the more people are aware of the options that they have, or just educated more about insurance in general, that they're more receptive and they're more willing to actually go out and, you know, I see you shaking your head already. Is that a no?
No, it's a no. We have to do more to promote. We have to increase our awareness. We have to promote it more.
And that is what the Kidney Association always also adapt. Our primary objective is to bring awareness and sensitize people the importance about healthy lifestyle and what is the cause when that is not adaptive. So therefore, when we go to the public, we ensure them that, you know, kindly do an annual checkup. What is your family history? Family history, if they have any diabetes, if they're diabetic, they are hypertensive, because some of those diseases are hereditary. So they have to be aware of it. What things you can put in place so you don't reach that end stage renal failure. So when we go and do our awareness now, we incorporate all information about health, about what you can put in place that can help your family to, you know, to stand by, to have that financial support and so forth. We do encourage them to put things in place like an insurance, in, you know, that will kick in place in the event that someone reach the end stage renal failure. But that is just kidney, and there are also cancer. There's also, you know, lupus. There's other illnesses that affects an individual
that carry a heavy financial burden. I think that's an example that's really good to use. I think if you reach end stage renal failure, what's the cost of dialysis now?
Right now it's 200 and per session.
200 per session,
Yes.
usually 3 times a
So
week,
you get 3 times a week.
$600 a week.
And luckily right now the government have, you know, really stepped in and
Yeah.
have 88 patients
Yeah.
with two session
Yeah.
per person
Yeah.
every week. So you know, but they still have difficulty
Yeah,
in
but if I'm
finding the
newly
$200 to take on the other session. And
And
Belize
if I'm newly
Healthcare,
diagnosed, I can't get on that program because that's full, right?
yeah, it's full. And you know, there's a team with Ministry of Health. They are the one that, you know, try to see how they can fit in individuals.
Of course, yeah.
And the Belize Healthcare Partners, I believe they offer it at $150, but there are other minor costs with administration fee and whatnot. But
Yeah.
you know, it's costly,
Yeah.
and that is why we go and we really sensitize the information. And remember that when someone is diagnosed with a chronic illness, it not just affect the patient
Yeah.
itself, but all your family.
I mean, we've had countless stories here at the news where people come and it's such a critical situation. They're begging for funds to, you know, get a biopsy, to do a surgery, to do a round of chemotherapy. The cancer patients I've met at the Cancer Society, luckily, they're able to access their treatments, but you know, they're doing barbecue sales and whatnot to try to subsidize the cost. And I've known families where they're heavily indebted after spending a long time fighting for a loved one who eventually dies and the debt remains.
Right.
So I think that that's one of the things we don't think about when we consider insurance. But you're right. I think the first thought is it affordable for me? And I guess that's the question we can say. How affordable is it for your average person to be covered?
It depends on a lot of factors.
Yeah.
It depends on your age, your health situation. If you are a bigger risk, we would have to charge you a higher price. And so it's a lot of factors that determine that.
Yeah.
Health insurance is not the cheapest form of insurance. It certainly isn't.
Yeah.
But that is why we always focus, again, it's the importance of helping people to sit down and work these things within your budget. It's all about prioritizing. Because at the end of the day, when we have these overwhelming costs,
Yeah.
and people can tell you who have insurance, it doesn't pay everything, but it surely greatly alleviates the burden. And so, just as we hear the terrible stories, we know what people are going through, again, the insurance makes it a whole lot better. You know, there's a peace of mind. And so that costing really happens on an individual basis. It's based as well on how much insurance coverage you actually want to get. If you're familiar with deductibles, which is your out-of-pocket cost, that determines. So we really have to work with people.
Yeah.
And not everyone will be able to afford it, but we have to move to action, right?
Yeah.
And when some people may think that they can't afford it as well, again, it goes back to the budget.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you sit down with people and look at what they're doing with their money, you know, we always have to prioritize. We're all guilty of it at some point or the other. So it's about deciding where the priorities lie, setting yourself up from an early stage in life,
Yeah.
especially our young adults. These things are not taught in school, you know. We have our parents that try to educate us the best way that they can, and the older people, they will tell you about savings and all those things,
Yeah.
but it's early planning. And so this is how we can turn things around for generations to come and encourage our young people to get it right the first time with their financial security. And so
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, actually, because clearly, as a person ages, you get more susceptible to, you know, chronic conditions, or you may not even get there. You could just, you know, you could be working for so many years and then you have an accident or some emergency situation pops up, and you don't really have any form of security, financial security to, you know, fall back on. So
That's right.
I was going to ask, does the association target younger people to encourage them to do, you know, to start early, as you said?
you want to touch on that, Chantal?
It wouldn't be the association touching. It would be the individual insurance
Yeah.
companies
Right.
promoting their products. And I believe that for the younger people, the cost is much more affordable. It's cheaper. But sadly, younger people they are more negative with regards to health insurance coverage. They feel they don't need it. Right? So
They can't imagine all the future illnesses that may come.
correct.
That's the biggest challenge. When I first started out in the insurance industry, I said that one of my markets would have been the young people. And I find out that I spend most of my time educating because they will sit down, they will listen. Sometimes you're not sure if you're really getting through, but at the end of the day, the majority of them will not move to action. And so we have to put in work to make sure that we can turn that around.
Yeah.
So that's the experience with the younger people.
Right. So clearly, if someone is interested at your fair, you'll have some information available there that people can access. Tell us what else is happening in the commemoration of the week.
Okay. The week starts off on Sunday.
Okay.
We usually open the week with a church service. Thereafter, at the church service, I must say, all the members will be there, insurance agents. We will be blessing the week.
That's some insurance.
Also, Monday, Tuesday of next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll be going into schools, educating them on the importance of insurance.
Okay.
And Thursday and Friday, we'll be having a food drive. It's our annual food drive in support of Liberto Children's Home in Ladyville.
Okay.
We will have carts at three different supermarket, namely Brothers on the Highway, Publix on the Highway, and Save You.
Okay.
Also on Friday we'll be having the health fair.
Yeah. And that's going to be here at Lions?
Lions parking lot, correct. We have several different associations coming up.
Yeah.
And then our grand end off would be the Saturday, which is the Red Gala Dinner and Dance in support of Belize Kidney Association.
That's going to be at the Biltmore.
Okay.
It starts at 7, finishes at 2.
And that's the 26th?
That's the 26th of, which is next week Saturday.
Okay.
It's an annual event.
Yeah.
For years.
It's your Red Gala, right?
Red
For,
Gala.
The Kidney Association.
Yes.
All right. And at the Kidney Association booth at that fair next Friday,
This Friday, we'll have, along with Belifa, we'll have 4 tests that we'll do. We have 4. The Belize Diabetes Association will do diabetes tests. They also the Kidney Association will be do the blood pressure and the urinalysis test, and we have HIV tests. You know, those are voluntary. That we ask the public to come, know your status, not just HIV but your kidney as well. Check to see if you have diabetes, if you have high blood pressure. We also have educational booth with the Kidney Association will be providing information. We have HECOPAB, we have NDAC, we have Chest Clinic, we have BCVI that will do eye testing as well, and providing information about your site.
Yeah.
We also have Red Cross. They will talk about the importance about first aid. And we have the CPAP now. That's an organization that provides information about sleep apnea and sleep disorders. So we have these educational booths, and like I said, the awareness is of great value.
Yeah.
So we ask the public to come out, know about these organizations, because there are organizations that have a wealth of information, but it's just you have to access it, and you also have to do your part by going there, seeking the information, know about it,
and taking advantage of the free testing, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
And we do this yearly, not just when we have the insurance week, but the kidney. The Kidney Association also have its Kidney Month in March, and we do all these testing, and these testings are for free. So it's you have to play your role in seeking these tests, know about yourself. You don't want to wait last minute, and then you're sit there in regretting everything that you should have put in place.
Yeah.
But the association is so happy now or to see other places like health providers. They provide, when they include the package, they put in kidney tests or autoimmune disorder tests. I mean, because these lead to chronic kidney failure in the long run.
Yeah.
And in most cases, people are not
aware of the symptoms, like kidney, end stage renal failure have 5 stages, and in most cases people are not aware of kidney problem until they reach stage 3 and stage 4.
Until it's very
when
late.
you can act on it then and prolong it, but end stage renal failure is irreversible. So when it reaches stage 3 and stage 4, if you don't put in the preventative measures and you don't adopt a healthy lifestyle, then eventually your kidney will fail. And then when it fails, now you have the additional, financial burden in maintaining that with, dialysis.
And so, I think what you've just shared is really just a snippet of all the information that is available at the Kidney Association. And end-stage renal failure is something that's not just costly, it's very devastating to the family itself. So looking at prevention is really the best way to go.
That's right.
Your health fair is next Friday. Your Red Gala is next Saturday. Tickets, I'm sure you can get from the insurance companies.
You can.
The members?
We have our different agents who are selling tickets for us, yes. So all of our advisors.
And all the proceeds go right back to the Kidney Association.
Yes, and the Kidney Association also have tickets to sale, so they can call us. And we are beneficiary, and we are so happy or so proud when we have organization that stepped in and see our cause. And then it also returns back to the patients who need it. And it's not just dialysis, but we use the fund to mobilize our team to do the awareness and to those who urgently, because they get some patient that goes into the ER and they didn't know that their kidneys incomplete failing, and they need the urgent insertions and the catheter and the vascular. So that comes with a cost, and when you reach that point there, you need to urgently seek a dialysis treatment. So it comes with a heavy cost.
Yeah. All right. Well, ladies, thank you for coming in, and best of luck with your awareness activities next week. And of course, we really do encourage people to come on out to the health fair next Friday and take advantage of all the information that will be available, the free testing, and knowing more about your own health status. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we will be talking about the Diversity Visa Lottery Program from the U.S. Embassy. So please stay tuned.
With over 100 years of service excellence in Belize, the Belize Bank Limited recognizes the importance
Oye, mujer, yo solo quiero darte un beso, no más. Quien se pueda rendir por fin y que corra la historia sin rencor. Ni tu amigo, ni tu amante, ni tu perro, ni tu hombre. Que coma mucho cunduco, así como su papá, pa' que sea un buen cemental, así como su papá. Y que coma mucho garrobo, pa' poderlo.
Me va, me va, me va, me va, me va. Hacer amigos, andar caminos, me va, me va.
Si tú no estás junto a mí, no puedo cantar.
Remember, voting ends on Sunday at midnight. KTV Latino Season 4. It's hot, it's live, and it's only on 5.
KTV Latino.
And we're back. And we're moving into our final conversation for today as we get all the details about the Diversity Visa Lottery Program through the U.S. Embassy. We have with us on set the Consular Officer at the U.S. Embassy, Sean Bouchard. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so this is the Diversity Visa Lottery Program, aka the Green Card Lottery,
Yes.
As we call it locally. And it is an ongoing program offered by the United States through the embassy, right?
Yes, that's correct. It's called the Diversity Visa Program. It's currently open right now. It's open until November 5th, 2019, and I'm here just to bring awareness about the program and also to talk about some things we'd like applicants to be aware of, such as fraud concerns and some new requirements to the program.
Okay.
So
let's just step back for a bit and have people understand why this program was first developed and what your aims are in being able to open up the offer.
Okay, Phil, the program right now has 50,000 available slots open for the Diversity Visa program. It's a program that allows applicants from countries that don't have high immigration rates to the United States to apply for a program to immigrate to the United States legally and permanently if they would like. So, for example, certain countries that met a threshold of 50,000 immigrants in the past 5 years aren't eligible. So, for example, China, Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, some countries that aren't able to apply. But countries that are able to apply, like Belize, have had less than that number. And the program, as it implies, likes to promote diversity among other countries, and we'd like those countries to come to the United States, and this is one of the reasons we have the Diversity Visa program.
Now, who's eligible to apply?
To be eligible for the program, you have to have a high school education. So usually that would cut off around the age 18, but there are some other things. If you don't have a high school education, you can have 2 years specialized work experience that will allow you to apply for the program, and you have to be from one of the countries eligible, so usually that means born in that country. So if you're born in Belize, for example, you would be eligible for that. And another benefit of the program is if you have a wife or children, they're able to apply with you for the Diversity Visa program, and if you're selected, they can immigrate to the United States with you.
And are there any, apart from that, potential applicant, are there any, criteria or anything that, for instance, is there any profile that's fit that makes one more likely to be successful in their application?
No, that's the wonderful thing about this program. It's open to all applicants that meet certain requirements. A new requirement is that you have to have a valid passport. And that's to reduce fraud, because in the past and currently people have stolen people's information and applied for them, and then once they have that information they try to sell it to the applicants to finish through with their application. Or some people use what we call visa consultants or document vendors, things like that, to apply for them, and they charge them very high rates. And this is something that an applicant can do on their own. They need to go to dvlottery.state.gov or travel.state.gov, and they can fill out the application themselves. They don't have to pay anything. It's free. And once they've done that, they can track the status of their application. So you can't be more eligible. It's more about following the directions clearly, and those can be found again at dvlottery.state.gov and meeting those requirements, such as having a photo in the past 6 months, not applying more than once, having a valid passport, things like that.
Yeah. Wait, just back up and explain to me a little bit more about the fraud issue. So you're saying somebody else could apply using my name and my information?
It's possible. For example, if you left your information out or somebody hacked into your email account and they got your name, date of birth, they got your passport number, they could apply and then have your information and then try to sell that to you if you wanted to do the diversity visa program. And that's why we've implemented a new requirement such as a valid passport. It's another requirement that tries to protect the applicants. So we're trying to enhance the security for the applicants.
And the visa consultants, that you call them, we've seen that quite a bit in Belize in the regular tourist visa application. Sometimes people feel that maybe it's more complicated than they can handle, so they pay someone else to be able to do the service. But what you're saying is this is pretty easy to do on your own.
Applicants, if they wish, they can use people to help them fill out the application, but we would recommend that applicants fill it out on their own because it is free and it is a very easy process. The first process is to go to dvlottery.state.gov, fill out the application, put in your information, have a valid passport, have a photo that's within the last 6 months, and then you need to enter an email address in, and you'll get a unique code, and then you can check the status of your application starting May 2020 to see if you've been selected. And then if you've been selected, then you would come to the U.S. Embassy for an interview to meet the basic requirements, and then if you were approved, you can immigrate to the United States.
All right.
You know, it's interesting that the application process is seemingly so simple and open to and open to a lot of potential applicants, especially considering that the program has been, I think, publicly criticized somewhat, and I think the president of the States has stated that. Well, at least in his view, he'd want a more merit-based system. So I think a lot of people think that, perhaps this is probably a real difficult process, or that the process has changed in some way to make it more onerous or difficult for potential applicants. But it doesn't sound like that's the case.
Well, I can say a few things about that. The diversity visa is statutorily mandated by Congress, so it is decided by Congress, and it is currently up and running, and there are 50,000 slots open. Regarding the merit-based immigration, we can refer you to the memo by the White House in 2018 for more information about that. But the changes that have been made to the program right now are specifically made to protect applicants. So they're not changes made to make it a more difficult process. It's changes made to protect applicants and actually make it a more accessible program to applicants to apply. Because like I stated earlier, it's called the Diversity Visa Program. It's open to countries that don't have high immigration rates to the United States, such as Belize, to improve diversity in the United States and allow countries that aren't that have high numbers of immigration in the United States to take advantage of that program.
So the requirements to be accepted into the program have not changed?
No, the requirements have not changed. There's been a few things, like I said, you have to have a valid passport. You can't fill out the application more than once. If you fill out the application, you need to be upfront and honest about your marriage status, your children. If you leave stuff out like that, it can disqualify you. So you just need to be upfront, honest, complete the application. And
it's one application per family?
Yes, one application per family. If you happen to have multiple family members who are eligible, they can apply on their own as well. And
so if you have adult children?
Well, if they're under 21. But if the adult children are born in Belize, then they can apply on their own as well. Or if your wife would like to apply, she can apply and also list you. So if you're eligible, you can apply, and you just need to list your family members. Yeah.
Now, perhaps what people are worried about is the screening. You know, I went to the States that one time and I kind of stayed a little bit longer than I should have. Or I haven't gotten an approval for a tourist visa in the last 3 times that I went. Will I even be eligible for this program?
That's a great question, a really good question. If you have a current tourist visa, that's not something that is taken adversely. If you've been denied for a non-immigrant visa for tourist purposes, again, this is what there's usually 2 types of visas. There's a non-immigrant visa, and then there's an immigrant visa. So for an immigrant visa, that shows that you want to immigrate to the United States and remain there permanently, usually to get a residency or citizenship. For a tourist visa, that's usually you want to go to the United States for tourist purposes for a short period of time or for business. If you've been denied in the past because you couldn't show that that was your purpose, that wouldn't reflect badly on an immigrant visa application, because an immigrant visa is something that shows that you want to remain in the United States. If you were in the United States, for example, overstayed your time, committed crimes, you would have to go through the same process as immigrant visa applicants do to see if you have ineligibilities. And oftentimes there's ways to overcome that at the immigrant visa application and interview.
So if I had that traffic violation that one time, many moons ago?
Depending on what type of violation it was. If it was a speeding incident or something like that, you're probably okay. If you, yes, but it just depends what the violation.
But if I was being chased down by the police, that's a different story.
Well, I can't speak directly to that. I don't know what you've been doing in the United States. Maybe we'll have to look a little more deeply into your travel history to see if you're having...
because you don't, I mean, I think people automatically assume the barriers that do exist. Now, if someone applies for the diversity program and they are accepted, what's the period of time that they have for relocation?
Yeah, if they're accepted into the program, which they can do by going to dv.lottery.state.gov, putting in that number that they get to see if they are selected, then they would schedule an interview with the U.S. Embassy and have to do some basic requirements like get a medical exam to make sure you're okay, and then have the interview to see if you had shootouts with the cops or something like that. And then it would be a short process, 1 month to 2 months, and then you would get approval of your immigrant visa, and then you can immigrate to the United States, and that's usually dependent on the validity of your medical exam, and that's usually about 6 months. So you would have a significant amount of time to immigrate to the United States, or you could do it rather quickly if you were selected. So,
how secure are you if you are able to attain the green card and you move to the United States? How secure are you in staying there?
As implied, an immigrant visa permits you to live in the United States, and usually with a green card or a residency card, it's the same thing. You're allowed to live in the United States, and there's some requirements. One of the requirements is you shouldn't be outside the United States for more than 1 year to maintain that. So you're very secure, to say the least. You can live in the United States with that immigrant visa and with that green card or residency card, which will then allow you, if you would like, to apply for citizenship in many cases. So
you'd be able to live and work.
Exactly. An immigrant visa will permit you to enter the United States, to live there, and have the same rights as residents or citizens.
From your experience, do you find that there are a lot of Belizeans who apply for this program?
There are, but we would like more Belizeans to apply for this program because, as stated, it's free. You just need to meet basic requirements, and it's a program that is an excellent program and allows people to immigrate to the United States legally. So there is interest, but not as much as we would like, and the more people that apply means more people will be selected.
I was going to ask that. What's the ratio?
So, for example, the rule is no more than 7% of that 50,000 can come from a certain region, and that's dependent, again, on how many people apply. So the more people that apply, that could be a significant number from the region if there are a lot of applicants. There have been many Belizeans who have been selected for the diversity visa program. I know personally people who've been selected.
Yeah.
I've lived and worked in other countries where I know people who have been selected for the diversity visa program, and they're now doing wonderful things.
Yeah.
So it's an excellent program, and I highly recommend people to apply before November 5th. And if people wait towards the end of the application period, there can be more applicants and it can slow the system down, can create problems. So highly recommend to apply earlier.
Yeah, November 5th, which is quickly approaching.
Yeah.
And so you said 7% from a particular region, so that means Belizeans have a fairly good odds for selection?
Well, the odds, it's randomly selected by a computer system. So it's basically more people apply, the higher likelihood of being selected. So,
and it is by region, and so it's not the case that, you know, if I were to apply, my application gets lost among 100,000 from all over the world.
It wouldn't get lost. It's just the odds are not specific. I don't know the exact numbers, but again, more people that apply, higher likelihood of being selected. So, and it's free. So what do you have to lose? So.
Is there an age requirement?
Technically, no, but the requirements are you either have to have a high school education or 2 years of specialized work experience, and that usually is 18 years of age, 17. So there's not an age requirement. If you do meet those requirements, you can apply, but it's generally 18 years of age because of the high school education.
Okay. All right. What else would you like people to know about why they should apply for the diversity program?
Well, they should apply for the program because it's free. It's a easy.
There's no visa fee that you have to go to the bank for. That's what he's saying.
And it's an easy process. You go to dvlottery.state.gov. You fill out the application. All you need is a valid passport, a photo that's been taken within the last 6 months, your personal information, the information about your immediate relatives, like I said before, your spouse or children under the age of 21. Another thing I'd like to talk about, if you do apply and your children are under the age of 21, but they happen to pass that age,
turn 21,
during the period of time, they are protected under something called CSPA, and that will lock in their age at the time of the application. So that's something you don't have to worry about. And then once they do apply with that information, it's very important that applicants maintain something called a unique identifier number that they'll get when they finish their application. They should either write it down, print it off, protect that information. That's the number that you'll be entering in to check your status around May 2020 to see if you were selected. And at no point, at no point will you receive any information from us saying you will be selected or anyone else. So if you receive that, that's not true. This is why we do this. Applicants need to check on their own to see if they've been selected so that they can't be scammed or charged money for the number or for the status. They can check that. It's free. And if they've been selected, then they can schedule an appointment for the medical exam for the immigrant visa application. And then if they're selected, then they can immigrate to the United States.
All right. November 5th is the deadline.
Yes,
you
November
go
5th.
online and you sign up, and you won't hear back until May 2020. That's when you'll probably find out whether or not you've been accepted into the program.
Yes, and you won't be hearing information from us. They'll have to check the status on that webpage at dvlottery.state.gov to see if they have been selected. So no point will they be hearing anything from us or anything like that. And we won't be asking for money at any point during this process.
All right. Well, Sean, we hope that people have been able to get a bit more clarity on the program and decide whether or not they want to pursue living the rest of their lives in the U.S. And the diversity program, as we said, the applications are now open until November 5th.
And the applicants can, they can leave the United States for visits and things like that. So.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take a final break, and when we come back, we'll have a wrap up. So stay tuned. And we are back. Very informative show today.
Yeah, absolutely. The first segment was so interesting, speaking with, the representatives from Ladyville Tech and the ministry about World Food Day. I mean, Ladyville Tech's agriculture program seems so interesting and so developed.
Yeah. And you can't lie, you definitely want to try those eggs now from Ladyville Tech. But remember that World Food Day will be commemorated tomorrow at the school compound. It is open to the public, so you can see what they do there. The official ceremonies start at 9 a.m. and you can drop in during the day and see a bit of what they do and some of the work of the Ministry of Agriculture. And then next week is going to be the celebration of Insurance Awareness Week.
Yeah, so there's going to be a whole lot of activities planned, starting, of course, with the church service this Sunday. Yeah. And, of course, the bottom line is that insurance is an important thing to have. You don't want to be caught without it when you need it. And it could apply to a whole lot of different situations in your life. It could be your health, whether it's your property, all sorts of things. Insurance is super, super important. So it's great that the association is planning such hands-on initiative.
Yeah. And so they do have a health fair as a part of the celebration that's happening next Friday at the Lions parking lot here in Belize City. You can get some testing done. You can also learn more about different health programs that are available and also from the different insurance providers. And then on Saturday, they'll have their Red Gala, which is a fundraiser, and all the proceeds go back to the Kidney Association so they can help patients.
Yeah. And of course, we had our final topic talking about the Diversity Visa Lottery Program. It's a totally free application. If you're interested in possibly migrating to the United States, the deadline for the application is November 5th. Once again, it's completely free, one per family. The process, it seems super easy, super accessible. So if you're interested, or if you can go online and fill out the application, and you'll be hearing back in a few months' time whether or not you were successful.
So that is all the time we have for today. Remember, if you want to contact us, send us an email at oye@channel5belize.com. Drop me a line at marlene_oye@channel5belize.com. Find us on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ and on Instagram at OYEBelize. And remember to tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 when you open your eyes.
Start your morning right.
Until then, keep your eyes, your mind,
and your heart
open. We'll see you soon. Enjoy your day, Belize.
Open Your Eyes was brought to you by the Belize Bank, our country, your bank, and Smart, bringing people together